Good evening and welcome to Justeventonline News at 9. I'm Anifat Ismail. The news headlines. Tinubu flag off 2024 Christian pilgrimage to Israel, Jordan. Federal government lifts 5-year ban on mining in Zamfara. Kwara government launches bushfire prevention campaign to safeguard semi-arid landscapes. Representative seeks action on crowd control and safety. Lakurawa terrorists no longer in Nigeria, Defense Minister says. North, no liability to Nigeria, says Ndume. IG never ordered attacks on policemen during stop and search. Niger governor cautions Christians against pilgrimage to Israel over safety concerns. And on sport, Lookman helps Atalanta to Serie A top for Christmas. Now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerian pilgrims traveling to Israel and Jordan to conduct themselves honorably and focus on the primary purpose of communion with God. Represented by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, at the flag-off ceremony held on Sunday at the Chapel of Christ the Light in Alausa, Ikeja. Tinubu emphasized the importance of prayer, describing it as essential to his administration's values. The federal government has lifted the ban on mining exploration in Zamfara state after more than 5 years of security restrictions by administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, who disclosed this in Abuja, said the decision was informed by the significant improvement in the security situation across the state. In a proactive measure to combat the growing threat of bushfires in semi-arid region, the Kwara State Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, in collaboration with the Kwara State Ministry of Environment, hosted a one-day sensitization campaign on bushfire prevention. The campaign, which took place at the Ilorin West Secretariat premises, Kwara, featured insightful addresses and practical demonstrations aimed at educating the public on the dangers posed by bushfires and the necessary steps to prevent them. Dr. Ayila Abubakar, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Environment, who spoke on behalf of the Commissioner, Nafisat Buge, emphasized the far-reaching implications of bush fires. He urged residents to pay close attention to their environment, equip themselves with the knowledge and practices necessary for safety at all times.
It is of essence to note that one of the major consequences of bush burning, in addition to other causes, is climate change. This year, we suffered the effects. We had droughts that set in so early at a time we were supposed to be experiencing rainfall. And this has affected crop production, it has affected the harvest, in fact, it has affected the yield of those products. So it is of essence to advise us all to pay attention to the lessons and the messages that will be passed.
Kwara State Program Coordinator for Akrasal, Alhaji Aregbe, highlighted the need for the campaign to equip residents on the right knowledge.
This occasion becomes even more important and Janine at this particular period of the year. So, ìdí pàtàkì ká fi wà níbí báyìí lẹ́nu, ó ní pé inú ọ̀gbẹ́ni la wà, inú ọyẹ́ la wà. We are in the heart of the dry season, and we all know the consequences of even a flash of fire during this season. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ká rí aburú àdínlógún náà.
Mr. Kazim Mohammed Bashir, head of fire prevention at the State Fire Service, and his team members demonstrated vital fire prevention techniques while reiterating that awareness and preparedness are key to safeguarding lives and properties. Also, Mr. Azan Akim Adekole, the head of media and publicity for State Fire Service, stressed the importance of timely communication with fire officers when incidents occur.
I will use this measure to appreciate His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kwara State, for empowering the State Fire Service, also for organizing this program, which is very, very informative, which will assist us in the long way. I will call on every individual, all the Kwaras, that we should always adhere to fire safety precautions by clearing our surroundings, do all necessary things, but basically that we should adhere to fire safety precautions.
Alhaji Dare Abdulganiyu, Director of the National Orientation Agency in Kwara, in his contribution, underscored the hazards associated with negligence towards environmental protection. In our submissions, Ilorin West Vice Chairman, Mrs. Suliat Olowu, applauded the Kwara State government for the educative and life-saving program. Following the stampede that led to death, Chairman of House of Representatives Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness, Joseph Bassi, has called for action on crowd control and safety measures. Bassi showed deep sympathy and condolences to families of victims in Ibadan, Oyo State, Okija in Anambra, and Abuja. The lawmaker, in a statement, said this tragic event, which resulted in fatalities and injuries, have raised concerns about safety of citizens at huge charity event. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawale, has said Nigeria is now free of the new terror group, Lakurawa, saying the sect had been chased out of the country. Matawale made the assertion while addressing journalists at his residence in Gusau, capital of Zamfara State. He further explained that the Lakurawa terrorists were from Mali and were forced to return to their country by the military. Former Senate leader Ali Ndume has stated that the North is not parasitic or dependent, particularly in economic matters. Ndume, who represents the Borno South Senatorial District in the National Assembly, said on Sunday that all states, zones and regions in Nigeria are interdependent and rely on one another for survival. He said the North will never be a parasite or dependent on any region, positing that they are assets nor liabilities to Nigeria. The Nigerian police force has dismissed as false a viral news stories alleging that the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has instructed citizens to physically assault and throw stones at police officers who request to search their phones during stop-and-search operations. In a statement released by the Force Public Relations Officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the police described the claim as baseless and a deliberate attempt to spread misinformation. The statement clarified that the IG has not issued any directive encouraging violence against law enforcement officers. The Niger State Governor, Mohammed Bago, has advised the said Christian pilgrims not to go for the holy pilgrimage in Israel due to the conflict in the Middle East. Bago made this known on Sunday at the 2024 said Christmas Carol organized by the state government, where he appealed to Christian faithful to exercise patience over the year's pilgrimage to Israel over what he termed the lack of peace in the Holy Land. The last on the news is sport. Atalanta BC will remain top of the Italian Serie A after Lookman returned from his coronation as the best African player of 2024 with a goal against Empoli yesterday. Lookman showed off his CAF Player of the Year prize before the kickoff of the Empoli game. And that will be all on Justeventonline News at 9. Here is the recap of the story. Tinubu flag off 2024 Christian pilgrimage to Israel, Jordan. Federal government lifts 5-year ban on mining in Zamfara. Kwara government launches bushfire prevention campaign to safeguard semi-arid landscapes. Representatives seek action on crowd control and safety. Lakurawa terrorists no longer in Nigeria, says Defense Minister. Ndume says no liability to Nigeria. IG never ordered attacks on policemen during stop and search. FPRO clarifies. Niger governor cautions Christians against pilgrimage to Israel over safety concerns. And on sport, Lookman helps Atalanta to Serie A top for Christmas. Thank you for watching Justeventonline News. Remember, success usually comes to those who are too busy looking for it. For more news, visit www.justeventonline.com and to read more updates, follow us on our social media platforms with a tap at Justeventonline. You can also send us an email on justeventonline@gmail.com. I am Anifat Ismail. Good night.